Welcome to the Glute Medius Masterclass. The Glute Medius Masterclass is the secret muscle causing your horse's lower back pain, and I'm so excited to have you here. My name's Maya Luttinger of Freely Forward Bodywork, and this masterclass is going to be very quick and teach you an amazing technique that's a fan favorite among the hundreds of horses I've worked on, as well as among thousands of students I've taught in their horses. I know that this technique is going to make your horse love you just a little bit more. This is also a sneak peek into my online course, Equine Massage 101, and what you'll get to learn as my student inside. Lower back pain is incredibly common in horses and can commonly cause issues in the canter, over fences, issues crossing over behind, issues holding their hind legs for the farrier, and many others. And many people look immediately to the back, but I'm here to tell you that it's incredibly important for you to check the gluteus medius muscle first. First of all, because it originates in part from the lumbar fascia of the back. So it is directly linked to the connective tissue of your horse's back, and therefore its pain or lack thereof affects their back mobility. Second of all, because it's the horse's major hip extensor, which means that it's the main muscle that allows your horse to push behind. So if you do any sort of sport like dressage, show jumping, barrel racing, anything that requires your horse to push off from their hind end, they're going to need their glute muscle to be very well functioning. And then finally, because of its relationship with the sacrosciatic ligament and where it's located on the horse's body, I noticed that this muscle very commonly has pain when the horse has a sacroiliac issue or even an issue lower down in the horse's hind legs that carries up and causes compensation pain through this muscle. So the first thing we're going to do is find your horse's glute medius muscle. So first you want to find the point of their hip and the greater trochanter of their femur right here. And you're going to map out right along like this. And this is the main area of the glute medius. Before we begin palpation, I want to just introduce you to my 4 levels of palpating. And everyone's levels are a little bit different, but this is my method that I've developed throughout years of trying it on different horses. I think that it's the most kind way while still being very effective. So the first level is going to be air. So this is where you're just gently feeling over top of your horse to see what their reaction is going to be when you just are in that general area. This is a really important step, especially for horses that are rescues or horses you know are in a lot of body pain or tend to be really, really defensive. The next level is going to be skin. So you're just going to have that skin feel where you can just barely feel your horse's skin, and you're using about the amount of pressure it would take to slide a piece of paper across the table. Next up is going to be number 3, muscular level. So now you're having just a little bit of an indent on your horse's muscles, and you're able to feel their muscle as you pull through. And then finally, number 4, you're going to still use that muscle feel with just a little bit more pressure behind it, and you're going to do it again. And when you palpate, you're going to go a lot more quickly than when you massage, because palpation is more about eliciting a response and less about feeling good. With myofascial release, my specialty, it's important that you go incredibly slow because this allows the body to open up and relax as you move through it and release fascial adhesions and muscular tension. But with palpation, you're specifically moving quickly so that it's a little bit less comfortable and more likely to elicit a response so that you can know exactly where and what is bothering your horse. The next thing we're going to do is palpate. I'm really big on palpating a muscle before you work on it so that you can assess if your horse is in muscular pain or not. This is important for a few reasons. First of all, it's really important to be able to palpate your horse and know if they have body pain, to be able to have a proper assessment of your horse's baseline and to know where they're struggling. It's important to know where exactly they're struggling on their body so that when you go to be able to massage them or stretch them, you're able to understand where to focus your time. Because I don't know about you, but I'm a very busy equestrian and I wear a lot of hats. So if I have a half an hour or so to work on my horse, I want to make sure it's the area that definitely needs the most attention, that's going to help them the most. And then finally, it's important to palpate before you work on your horse so that you have a really good understanding of, as you continually massage your horse, if it's helping them improve. So here's how to palpate the glute medius. You're going to again find the point of their hip, and you're going to push straight through the muscle. So now I like to do my palpation in 4 steps. So first I'm going to do the air method, like this. I'm checking, and I'm looking for responses such as pain or tension or muscle bunching in here and in the muscle tightening. I'm looking for her to flick her ears back or pin her ears or give me a shark eye or to shift around. Those are all pain signs I'm looking for. So now that I've done the air method, I'm going to do the skin method. And that's just when I have just enough pressure to feel the horse's skin. And if you have any questions about palpation, I go over this in equine body mapping as well as equine massage 101 more in depth. So I'm just feeling the skin. And then now I'm just going to use my first muscle layer, just like this. You just want to feel a little bit of an indent in your fingers. And then I'm going to do one more time, a bit deeper, like that, a little bit more pressure. And none of these times I'm noticing that Dixie has much of a reaction or muscle bunching or anything like that through this gluteus medius muscle. So that's a great sign for Dixie. However, Dixie is retired, and when she was in full work, she did have a lot of reaction through this gluteus medius muscle. So it's likely, if you're watching this at home and your horse is a riding horse or struggles with issues in their hind end, it's likely they're going to have a lot more of a reaction and even have a lot of muscle bunching or fasciculations and movement through this area. And then you'll be able to see firsthand how the gluteus medius affects the health of the rest of the back. So now we're going to jump into how to massage. So here's how to massage your horse's glute medius muscle. So this is my fan technique. And what you're going to envision from the point of your horse's hip is a fan like this. And you're going to run your fingers along the blades of the fan. And now Dixie is actually relaxing her leg on this side and lowering it for me a little bit because she's so familiar with this technique and loves it so much. So you're basically going to be going like this, this. So you're basically going to be going like this, 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 and this. Except we're going to go a lot more slowly and move through the muscle, because in myofascial release, it's incredibly important that you move slowly. So now I'm finding the point of her hip, and I'm slowly, with a little bit of pressure behind my hands, going like this. And now you want to go incredibly, incredibly slowly when you're using myofascial release. Basically, the more slowly you go, the more effective you'll be. And if your horse is reacting a lot, so let's say it's very common for a horse to have a lot of muscle tension and movement as you're working on them, you can back off a little bit on your pressure. I always say use as little pressure as you need, but as little pressure as needed to be effective, but as much as necessary, right? So with her, Dixie does not have a lot of pain in this area, so I can naturally use a little bit more tension, a little bit more pressure to release the tension in that area for her. She's also a little bit, of a plump girl, so typically with more plump horses, especially warm bloods or drafts, they tend to like just a little bit more pressure than the more hot-blooded horses like thoroughbreds that are just naturally a little bit more sensitive. But, and now we're getting a nice deep sigh. But that's not always the case. So the most important thing is for you to just start very gently and slowly, and then just slowly ease your way into this as you're doing it on your horse at home. So now I'm just going to continue to slowly move through. And in real life, when I'm actually working on a horse, I might go even more slowly than this. Now I'm on the next blade of the fan. I'm a little bit more angled like this. And this is the most meaty part of her glute muscle. It's a little bit more dense, so I'm probably going to go even more slowly here to allow time to really go through the muscle. So many horses benefit so much from this muscle being released. I do highly recommend, if your horse has an issue in this area, to learn how to massage their back and hamstrings as well. Because if this area has an issue, it's very likely that their back has an issue because of how interrelated they are because of the lumbar fascia. And it's also very, very common for hamstring issues and glute issues to go hand in hand because they share so many attachment points. So again, super important to learn how to massage the hamstrings and back if your horse has an issue in this area. And I do teach how to massage those areas in depth in my online course, Equine Massage 101. Now Dixie is just falling asleep, which is so sweet to see. So now I'm reaching her spine, so I'm backing off and I'm coming back to the point of her hip, and then I'm angling this way. And again, in real life, I would probably go even more slowly. The longer you take, the more time you give the horse and their muscular and fascial system to open up and relax, and the more effective the stroke is going to be. So I think it's much more important to do a couple of strokes of massage very slowly rather than hurry through it and not be effective at all. And if you're a little bit worried about getting your exact placement and pressure and timing right, don't worry. I picked this technique especially because it's in such a meaty, forgiving area. With other areas like the neck and the back and the hind end, you have to be really careful about where exactly you are in the technique and pressure you're using, because there are a lot more structures you have to be aware of, which is why I highly recommend getting professional guidance in a course. But with this area, it's a lot more forgiving. And what I always say is massage isn't rocket science. It's pretty hard to mess this sort of technique up. So just start to try it at home on your horse. Take this video with you and follow along with me step by step so that you can practice it at home. And pretty soon you'll be feeling really confident and your horse will really appreciate it. So now I'm just finishing this last stroke of the fan method. And right through here, I noticed a lot of horses, if they have any sort of sacroiliac pain, tend to be pretty reactive. And Dixie is retired now, so she doesn't react like this as often anymore. But back in the day, she tended to be a lot more reactive through here. So I'm just keeping an eye on her and seeing what she's doing. And then I'm just gently releasing and I'm petting her to just close off the area. Now, if Dixie was my horse and I was doing a full session on her, I would go ahead and do this on the other side to not only see how she compares side to side and know if she might have a problem area on one side or the other, but to keep her even and make sure that she's feeling her best overall. I hope you enjoyed getting to use this technique on your horse as much as I love getting to massage horses all day, every day. It feels so amazing to be able to help your horse in a way that is so lasting and so beneficial to them. I personally love watching them yawn, and I love watching their eye get really soft and sweet, and I love watching them lick and chew. These are all signs that they're really enjoying you working on them, and they're getting a lot of benefit out of it. You may even notice as you begin to massage your horse regularly that they're more excited to see you and you have a closer bond with them, and you likely may enjoy riding them under saddle more because of how much better they feel through their body. So if you've enjoyed this, it's very likely that your horse has multiple problem spots that they could benefit a lot from being massaged. So I teach you how to palpate, massage, and manage every key part of your horse's body in my online course, Equine Massage 101. Equine Massage 101 is my signature course that has over 1,000 students inside with only 5-star reviews. It's self-paced, online, and lifetime access, so it's built with the busy equestrian in mind. So you can start it, stop it, go and practice it on your horse, and pick it back up and review it as your schedule allows. As soon as you buy it, you get instant access to a video library of hundreds of videos where I teach equine massage techniques just like this that are as simple as they are effective. They're the exact same techniques that I use every day in my practice on 5-star event horses, Grand Prix, dressage, and show jumpers in Wellington, and even trail horses and older horses who are able to stay more comfortable and sound longer because of equine massage. So if that's something you're interested in, I do have a special thank you gift for you for attending today, which is an online discount code for Equine Massage 101. I'm going to drop that under this video, and I highly encourage you to sign up. If you enjoyed learning this technique, I'd really love for you to share this with any of your equestrian friends who would enjoy doing this with their horse. Thank you so much for joining.